All right, and welcome to the next episode of the Teachers Talking Who's podcast. We've done so many that I don't even know what number on it. Might be number five,
I know. I think six,
six. Okay.
maybe 6 or 7. I don't know. You lose track when you're having fun on the podcast.
You
So,
know, I thought this was going to be the one time I was going to have to leave to plug in my computer,
hmm
but we talked so much beforehand that now I'm down to 51%. Oh, but my screen is very high. I can shrink it a little bit, but I might be able to survive without charging it. All right, yeah. So here we are. We're talking some SEC basketball.
the best conference in America.
That's what they say. That's what I'm not.
It's true.
I did just watch a documentary on ESPN about the Florida Gator football team,
Mm.
or on Netflix from ESPN,
Yeah.
and it's maybe the best conference, but they say New England has the best schools in America. Education's a little more important up north.
Yeah.
Down
Yeah.
south, they just play sports.
Yeah. We got Harvard and Yale and
Yeah.
Northeastern. They got the toughest conference in America. We got the Northeast has the smartest conference in America.
We
The,
notice there's a lot of speed though down south, like because it's so hot
true.
that you can't really train for distance.
Mm.
So I mean, you get some good distance run from down south, but you get so
True.
many sprinters because it's. I mean, probably the culture too. They just love like their football.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Alabama taking on Texas as we speak.
I know.
I want to know when Archie Manning is going to be thrown in the mix.
Well, let's do a quick score update for our fans right now. I want to tell our fans not to worry. We here at the Teachers Talking Hoops podcast would like to give you an update that with 19 seconds left in the second quarter, the undefeated ranked Duke Blue Devil football team is up 21 to 7 over Lafayette after defeating the mighty Clemson Tigers last week.
Oh, wow. I gave Lafayette a chance there.
I predict Duke to go through the season with only one loss to Notre Dame.
Really?
Certainly, they will defeat North Carolina.
Yeah, but the rivalry's not the same in football, though.
No, no.
They're definitely not beating North Carolina in football, though. Did you see
Oh,
North Carolina's quarterback?
guaranteed win.
Okay, what are
I'm
you,
a
the
big.
next?
I'm on the Duke football train now. It took me a while to get there, but I'm a follower. I'm not just a Duke basketball guy
Uh,
anymore.
After one game.
I'm
One
locked
game.
in. Well, you know what? Who I've been following. It took me a while to get on the football train, but I've been a big Duke baseball supporter for the past couple years.
I've never seen a college baseball game.
I just follow.
Okay.
I don't watch baseball. It's hard. They played like 60 games, like.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot.
Um, but I got a little trivia question for you.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what's happening October 20th in the world of college basketball?
In the world of college basketball,
Yes.
does this have something to do with Duke and
It very well may.
in the Cameron Crazies and the special night they have?
Oh, it very well may. I'd
Um,
like to, just as a comeback to what we talked about in the last podcast, I'd like you to tell me who might be sitting amongst the Cameron Crazies on October 20th.
Sitting amongst them?
Mm-hmm.
Is this supposed to be a trick question?
Maybe.
Is this a former player?
It's not.
A former
It's
coach?
it's a soon-to-be player.
Soon to be Duke What do you mean soon to be player?
A almost committed recruit
Give me a break.
for his second.
Give me a
You,
break.
you wanted to talk about how he was visiting UConn. His second visit to Duke is scheduled, Mr. Cooper Flagg.
Of course you're gonna bring him for you know what? Give me a break. It's okay. UConn, they're in the
He's
Northeast.
going to Duke.
He's not gonna be far from
100% he's going to
home.
Duke.
We'll see. He's just going there because they want him there for the ambiance and to experience it. And then they'll be like, couldn't you see yourself doing this?
And he'd be like, yeah, so I'm coming.
Yeah, but with that NIL money,
Would, where do you think he's getting more money from, Duke or UConn? Where are the bigger pockets?
Well, UConn is a bigger campus.
Yeah, which one's more prestigious academic institution? Who has more money? Your graduates from Duke or your graduates from UConn?
I don't know.
All the
We'd have to look that up.
all the
But
doctors and lawyers that are coming out of Duke.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Who just won the NCAA tournament championship recently? That's all I gotta say.
Who's going to win the NCAA championship this year?
I'm sure every year.
All right, SEC basketball. I'll give you a harder trivia question later,
At the at the end.
but um, yeah. So I think with these previews, it probably doesn't. I don't think we need to go team by team.
No.
I think we could talk about who we think might win the conference, who we think could probably surprise, and I think it's fair to say that there's a difference between winning the conference and potentially going further in the NCAA tournament.
Well, there's what? There's 14 SEC teams, right? Yeah. So it's usually an 8 or 9 team conference for March Madness. So I think that's fair to think for this year. There's some returners, some newcomers, some new talent. You'll still watch Chris Jan's Mississippi State team and want to gouge your eyes out because they're so boring, but they get the job done. I love Chris Jan's. Even he's got to get a little bit of more of an up-tempo offense, but they win games. So I have found myself liking their style of basketball. Maybe it's because I'm a slow feller myself. I don't know.
I kind of like Ole Miss.
I do too this year. Sneaky.
Yeah, you. I'm a big fan of Jamin Brakefield, former Duke player.
Okay.
Guy that I wish had stayed at Duke. Very gritty player.
How do you feel about Chris Beard?
Um,
Oh boy. Here we go.
I'm ki- I'm sort of a judgmental, burn me once kind of guy,
Yeah.
and so uh, I think Chris Beard's a great basketball coach.
Give me Northland.
I don't know if I like Chris Beard.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that he can coach basketball.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
All right.
I think, can he lead Ole Miss to the tournament this year? I no.
Yeah.
But I think last year they were 3-15 in conference. I don't think they'll be 3-15 in the conference.
No, I don't think so.
Um,
No.
it's I think the tough thing to predict in college basketball, and the SEC maybe even in particular, is road wins.
Mm.
Like I almost think they talk a lot about road environment in all sports, and I want to say maybe NCAA football might be the hardest road environment.
Yeah.
And then I would argue basketball after that. Like it's not
Yeah.
easy to win on the road, especially like you see in the tournament. Like
Yeah.
if a team can come out hard and keep it close for like the first half. And I always see it's particularly like an Ole Miss, right? It's so dangerous to play a team that has nothing to lose, right? A
Yeah.
team that is gonna finish, whatever, 14-18 on the season, because if they're just gonna shoot threes, right?
Yeah.
And if they miss, so what? They're gonna lose anyways.
Mm.
But if they can actually hit him that night, now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think as a big time school, like a Tennessee or a Kentucky,
Yeah.
and you're going against like a Georgia who's like,
Hmm.
whatever, we're just gonna bomb some threes,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they keep it close, and now you start getting tight because you do need to win that game, right? Like
Hmm.
that loss to Georgia hurt you,
Yeah.
um, and so it's always interesting when you get on the road. So it's with a lot of these teams, without looking specifically at the schedule, and we can look at like a Kentucky or a Tennessee schedule. Um, I think it is important to see who they're playing on the road. Is Kentucky and Tennessee a home and away, or is it just
Yeah.
Kentucky get to play Tennessee at home and they don't have to go to Tennessee? I think
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah. I think in the SEC, for some reason, road wins are valued maybe more than home wins. I mean, in the SEC, it just feels like if you can win on the road in the SEC, then you're primed to win on the road no matter where.
Yeah,
Again, that could be argued that, I don't know, maybe it's I'm wrong. Maybe it's just seems like an up-tempo road game that it's just harder to win and not valued more, but I just think road wins are valued in a faster, more up-tempo, energetic conference than, a conference like the Big Ten or, sorry, the ACC.
I mean, you mentioned that's kind of when I think of up tempo. Like I do think of the SEC. I
Yeah,
think of like flashy.
yeah,
Because I think when you think SEC, particularly basketball, right?
mm,
You think Kentucky,
yeah,
even if they're not necessarily, if they've had some struggles of late, like your mind goes to Kentucky,
hmm,
and Tennessee. I think, especially last year, kind of bucked that a little bit, where they weren't as flashy. They were more power, um, and I still don't know if a team, at least a last year version of Tennessee, wins the NCAA championship. I do think last year's version of Tennessee wins the SEC, but I don't know if they win the NCAA tournament.
yeah. Here's Tennessee's problem, right? They have a great team, but they can never have enough offense to win the game. I think
Mhm.
there was a stat last year. At one point, I think they were averaging about 1 point a possession. That was it. And in a basketball game where you have about 55 possessions, you're scoring about 55 points. Now, if you're a defensive dominant team like Tennessee, that rules out in your favor because you can lock people down and defend. But if you can't score against someone like a Texas A&M or an Arkansas or Kentucky or even Vanderbilt last year, who had
Mhm.
basically five shooters on the floor, you're going to struggle a lot. And I think it's key for Tennessee that they got Josiah Jordan James, Santiago Vescovi back, Ziegler's back. But the big question is, are they going to have enough offense? Because it seems, that they start to kind of tail off at the end of the season before the tournament. So that'll be interesting.
And we'll get to Alabama, I guess.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what would be the best way for us to sort of break down and go through. Um, Look at this here.
Well, here, I'll start this way. I'll give you my key departures in the SEC, and
Okay.
I'll give you my key returners. Um, so my key departures are my first one's Anthony Black from Arkansas. Last year's point guard kind of ran the show. They're definitely going to miss him at the point. Kobe Brown from Mizzou. He had a fifth-year option, decided not to take it. That's going to hurt them shooting. Demoy Hodge left too, so Missouri's really exhausted all their options. Liam Robbins from Virginia. I mean, sorry, Vanderbilt. Now Vanderbilt is no big guy, so they're going to have to contend with somebody else. Oscar Sheboy, Xavier Wheeler, C.J. Frederick for Kentucky. All that veteran leadership is gone. I don't want to say this, but Brandon Miller leaving Alabama, Charles Bediako leaving Alabama, that fills big holes for them. But this one is possibly the worst loss for this team in the SEC is Florida not having Colin Castleton there.
Hmm.
That's probably the biggest loss for any SEC team this year, and it'll be interesting to see what Florida does because he was their rim protector and their go-to guy on offense. Now, my key returners for the SEC, I got to show some love. Tyrese Radford coming back for another year. That is huge for Texas A&M, another veteran leader. There's there's a lot to like about this A&M squad. I'll get to that later. I'm not going to keep going on about that yet. My other one is, like I mentioned, Tennessee. They're getting basically their key guys back. That's a huge, huge addition for them. Kentucky, DJ Wagner. I think that's going to work out really well for Coach Cal. This kid's a generational talent. Mississippi State, again, an under the radar team. They got Tolu Smith back, their big guy. They like to pound it down in the paint to him. He averages about a double-double a game. Chris Jans has got to love him coming back to Starkville. Arkansas getting Trevon Brazil back, an athletic forward who can really take them over the top. Potential All-American candidate that I reviewed last time. So there's a lot of good returners in the SEC, a lot of good veteran guys.
So we talked about this a little before, right? Kentucky, you mentioned, lost a lot, but then picked up some stuff. Is how successful can you be out of the transfer portal? You know, like if you reload with, can you reload and be successful if it's the right dynamic? You know, or are you better off just returning?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a mix. I think if you can return your key guys and then go out in the transfer portal and fill in, I mean, that's what Texas A&M did. I mean, Wade Taylor and Henry Coleman, they retained. They went out and got Dexter Dennis, Julius
Wait, I'm
Marble.
sorry. Are you a Henry Coleman guy?
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yeah, I love Henry.
Former
I love.
player Henry
Yeah, I
Coleman.
love Henry Coleman.
I wish Henry Coleman stayed. I loved
I,
Henry
I
Coleman.
thank you for that. I can't believe you guys let him go.
He
Thank you.
was such a. The problem was he got recruited, and I think the thought was that he was going to be a 4-year guy, and he didn't get a lot of playing time. And they're like, all right, like, but I forget what it was. I think it must have been when they like recruited Derek Lively, or Derek Lively committed, and I think the thought was that might have pushed Coleman out because he kind of saw there was less playing time sort of coming in. But he was such a throwback, like,
Oh yeah,
defender.
I love Henry
He's like
Coleman.
everything.
Are you kidding me? I think Henry Coleman might have been the year before Derek Lively. I think it was because he was behind Mark Williams. I think, and Mark
Okay.
Williams, he
Oh,
was
maybe it
never.
was when Mark Williams decided to come back.
Yeah, and he was never gonna. And then remember they brought in Patrick Tapé, and that never worked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And then, but no, thank you for that. I mean, the key returning guys, Texas A&M, Wade Taylor, Tyrese Radford, Julius Marble, Henry Coleman, Hayden Hefner. This roster is full of veterans, and then you add your pieces through the transfer portal, and you add a freshman, and you have a good coach like Buzz Williams. You're gonna mesh it all together, just like Coach Cal did with Sheboy and Wheeler 2 seasons ago, when that team was supposed to probably win a championship, but St. Peter's got in their way. So I would feel more comfortable as a coach retaining my key guys and bringing in other guys to fill around them.
Yeah. I like I wanted to dislike Kentucky this season. I was
Hmm.
like I was ready to laugh at Kentucky, right? Like, okay, it's gone so bad and you lost these guys, and you know, could it even get worse?
Yeah.
And then Calipari started bringing these other guys in, and all of a sudden, like, you looked up
Yeah.
and you're like, wait a second, like, Kentucky could actually do something.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost going to be an indictment. Like, if Calipari can't get this team, I think even to the Elite Eight. Like, I don't know if they're Elite Eight team, but if he can't get them to the Elite Eight, I think there's going to be start being even more questions about
I think so.
and the thing is the name of Kentucky, the name of John Calipari, even if they struggle, the name
Hmm.
of John Calipari is still always going to get
Yeah.
high quality players.
Yeah.
But I've started to wonder with like Coach K and Calipari were like the big names in college basketball,
Hmm.
and they started to go the one and done route,
Yep.
and but Calipari has really embraced like I'm getting these guys ready for the league, and I'm gonna show up on draft night with them. Like these are my
Hmm.
guys, and I'm like their father figure, and I'm gonna send you off to the
Hmm.
NBA,
Yeah.
and I don't think you can be a successful basketball program when your guys are looking at the NBA.
Mm.
And even if they're like, all right, to get to the NBA, I have to be good in college. But
Yep.
I don't know if these Kentucky guys 100% care about winning an NCAA tournament.
Hmm.
And I that's what's got me, to quickly bring it back to Duke. That's what got me really excited about this Duke team this year because everything I've heard so far
Yeah.
is these guys are all in,
Yep.
and like winning is 100% what matters to them.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's Kentucky anymore.
Yeah. This team will make the tournament based off sheer talent. What seed they'll be is a question. I mean, the SEC is loaded with veterans, guys who know how to get the job done. But again, Coach Cal's done this with every other team that he's brought in. It's just a matter of if they get hot late, watch out because I don't know. I mean, you've got a bunch of 19-year-olds running around that have fresh legs
Yeah.
that can fly up and down the floor. You know,
But I don't know if what we're starting to see nowadays is the the one and done can help you, but so statistically, we're starting to see these runs from
hmm,
these mid major teams
yeah,
that are getting hot, but they've got these guys that played together for a long
yeah,
time, and but now with like NIL and the way the NBA has been changing a little
yeah,
bit, in the mix of all that, like seeing the Tennessee, you're seeing the Texas A&M,
mm,
and what I think you're going to start seeing is it's not going to be the mid majors that are going to make this run anymore. It's going to be your high level but not extraordinary high major teams now. So like your Texas A&M and Tennessee, like those are the ones that are either going to push for the title or be winning the NCAA championship because they're now doing what the mid major programs were doing,
mm,
but they're better.
yeah,
Like they're more like your Texas A&M is doing what the mid-major teams are, but they're talent-wise they're so much better than the mid-major. Like not
yeah,
even better. And I go back to the Duke game again with Tennessee. Like they're just older and stronger. Like
yeah.
your St. Peter's and maybe not your Florida Gulf Coast, but like your um,
Princeton,
yeah, your Princeton, but I'm blanking on the team that went to Final Four last year.
like San Diego State.
You're San Diego State, but
Oh,
who was
FAU, FAU.
FAU? Yeah, like those guys are not as physically imposing as what you're gonna
Yeah,
get at
they
Tennessee.
just got hot at the right time.
Yeah, and I think strength is just such a like 3 point shooting's huge, but
Yeah,
strength is so important.
yeah. I think strength and experience are very important, especially
Yeah,
in a league like this. I think
yeah,
if you can have your experience, it's going to take you. Because look at that. What was it? 2021 Kentucky team. Yeah, 2021
yep.
Kentucky team where they had no experience and they just couldn't put it together. So I think if you have experience now in this league, I mean, this is a big boys league,
Yeah,
no doubt about it. And I'm interested to see how we kind of go against the. I wouldn't call your conference a little privileged, but the kind of don't want to get your hands dirty ACC. Because I mean, we're diving for loose balls in the SEC. You guys are just trying to pick them up, and
Kyle Filipowski.
that's not going to work.
Hey, Mark Williams was taking kickboxing and karate classes.
Listen, Henry Coleman would give Kyle Filipowski work in the post if they faced off. I
Not
am upset that we
not
have
Ryan Young
Virginia.
though.
We have Virginia and not Duke.
Ryan Young he's Henry Coleman light.
Listen, we'll put Julius Marble on Ryan Young. All right, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's just Shire's too nervous to schedule. Buzz is the better coach, and he knows it. And you know,
You're not even on the camera.
guest appearance.
Um, what's your thoughts on Vandy? I've been thinking about Vandy, and I'm much more of let's admit to our fans that I am not only not as knowledgeable as you, but sometimes I do a little less preparation.
A little.
But don't worry, fans of the podcast. When ACC comes,
Oh, brother.
um, but so I look at it. Adam gives you the expertise. I give you a fan's perspective. I give you a fan of college basketball, and I think for Vandy to be successful, you have to have players that can respond to Jerry Stackhouse. And we were talking about Colorado football and Deion Sanders and stuff. And obviously Jerry Stackhouse is going to try to recruit guys that will respond to the type of coach that he is.
Yeah.
But I've never been a fan. Like, I didn't play football, and I don't understand the football mentality, the military style mentality of let me yell at you because it's going to make you work harder. And there's something about me that says it works to a degree, but I don't know if Jerry Stackhouse and his personality will ever be successful enough to take a team consistently. I don't know how far they can go in the tournament, but I just don't think in general they can be consistent enough night in, night out to truly compete in that season. Because I don't know, I think he's too overly emotional. And I think when your coach is too overly emotional, and you can be an emotional coach yelling at your players, but you still are you are consistent with your emotions. I think Jerry Stackhouse is too up and down with his emotions.
So we're coming off of Jerry Stackhouse's best season at Vanderbilt. So 22-15 and 11-7 in conference. So he had 3 more conference wins than Mississippi State, who made the tournament, and 1 more than Auburn, who made the tournament. They should have been a tournament team. They were a tournament team. I mean, they made it to the semifinals of the SEC tournament. They were a tournament team. There's no way Nevada, all due respect to Steve Alford, there's no way they should have been left out for Nevada in that tournament. But again, Liam Robbins gone, some guys gone. I don't know how the roster is going to come together for Jerry Stackhouse. Do they have a shot? Yeah, because when you have a guy of his intensity, he's going to demand the best from his players. I just don't know if we can expect 22 wins from them. But again, he had 3 more wins than Arkansas and Mississippi State. So yeah, they should have been a tournament team last year. But it's very hard to replicate success with a lesser roster in the SEC.
So let me see here. I don't know if all this schedules. Oh, it looks like they just released it. Okay, so Vandy opens up with some cupcakes, right?
Yeah.
So their non-league stuff, right? Presbyterian win, South Carolina Upstate win, UNC Greensboro win, Central Arkansas win, NC State probably a win. It's at home. BC at home win. Although BC, I don't know. I'd have to look up what BC graduated. Let me look up BC's roster. I don't know if it's like officially set or anything.
But assuming we'll give them a win.
Yeah, I liked what BC had, but at Vanderbilt, yes, I'll give Vanderbilt a win. Alabama A&M win. San Francisco
Probably a
win.
win, yeah.
Texas Tech. Still, it looks like these are all at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll give them a win. So what's that? 8-0, 8-0 right
yeah.
now.
So they don't really have anything until they go at Memphis.
Yeah.
And I'd say probably a loss at
Okay.
Memphis. Then Dartmouth. So then they go. So then they start SEC stuff January 6th. They're at home against Alabama.
Okay. So,
Um,
in the sake of Alabama's just shaky right now, we'll give Vanderbilt a win. So that's 10-1.
I mean, I'm not giving them a win against Alabama at home, but then they go to. So all right. So here's what we are talking about before. They go to LSU, right?
Yeah.
Let's say in your sake,
Yeah.
they beat Alabama.
Okay.
3 days later, 3 days later, they have to go to LSU,
Yeah.
and that to me, whether they win or lose against Alabama, screams trap game,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It does. It does.
right?
Will they lose? Will
Yeah,
they
you're
lose
on the
LSU
road.
though?
Either you've got this big high, or you're depressed, and that LSU game's tough.
Okay. So I'm gonna give them a win versus LSU.
If I'm writing this down,
Uh
I'm
huh.
probably, honestly, because
Yeah.
they have at Ole Miss after that.
Okay. So
I'm
I'll
giving
give them
them.
a loss. I'll
Yeah,
give them a
I'm giving
loss
them
to
a
Ole Miss.
three-game losing streak.
Really? Okay. I'll give them a loss to Ole Miss. So I think right now that'll put them at 11-2.
They're at home against Auburn. I say win.
I say loss.
They're at Mississippi State.
Loss.
Yeah. So they're at home against Tennessee.
Yeah.
I want to say Vandy, because we watched this game because my wife went to Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
I want to say Vandy beat Tennessee twice last year, at least once,
At least once.
because I remember like it was Tennessee was riding high, and I think they got smacked up by Vanderbilt if I remember.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't see it differently this year. I think Tennessee going into Vandy, that's a huge game. They were playing in Nashville. Yeah, it was a big game last year. I remember it.
Mhm.
And I say they lose again. Or I say Vandy wins again. And Tennessee
So I did a quick lookup of their schedule, and I have their final record coming out to 14-14.
for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say. Again, the trap games scare me. Like at South Carolina, if South Carolina's
Yep.
going into Nashville, I say sure, maybe they win it.
Yeah.
But going to South Carolina, I don't like that. I don't like going to Tennessee.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
one-
like going to Florida.
That was a toss up. I gave them a win in the South Carolina, and I gave them a loss when they played Georgia.
Yeah, I don't like them at Florida or
No.
at home against Florida at the end of the season.
Yeah,
right?
no.
In the middle of the season, if they play Florida at home, I say win. But last game of the season,
Yeah.
I say loss.
Yeah. On their senior night, you're heartless. Wow.
Yeah,
You- Just give them the loss when they play at Florida. Man.
You're right. I guess I'm down on Vandy, right? Because I had them with a 3-game losing streak, and
Yeah.
then so I had them at 4 losses there, and then I had probably 5. Right, I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. Yeah, I'm about you. I'm somewhere between 12 to 14 losses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because here's what I think we can agree on is that the upper echelon of the SEC is right now Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. Like right now, that's probably your top three teams, and Kentucky and Auburn will follow, and then the rest will kind of fall into place.
Um, so let's just for the sake of not being on forever. I do want to talk about Alabama a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's quickly look at Kentucky's schedule.
Okay.
I mean, Kentucky barely beat Germany. They barely beat Africa.
Well, the
Uh,
USA couldn't even beat Germany, so
that's true. Um, but once they get going, they've got New Mexico State and Texas
okay,
A&M, so wins. Then they play Kansas in Chicago.
okay. So
Um,
I'm
I say
losing them
loss.
now.
Yeah. They got Stonehill. If that
Wow.
had been in Stonehill, Jessica might be able to get us tickets, but that's at Rupp, so
Come
that's a
on.
win.
Please, like Kentucky would ever come to Stonehill.
I um, they got St. Joe's, they got Marshall.
So 5-1.
They're playing Miami at home, so that's a win, I think.
Yeah, UNC
Um,
Wilmington and Penner wins.
yeah, they're North Carolina in Atlanta. I think that's
Loss. Sorry.
I'll go
Loss.
win.
Because then they're going to beat Louisville and Illinois State.
Yep, they go to Florida. I'm still thinking win. I still have them undefeated. I think at that point.
I'm going to give them. Yeah, I'll give them a win. Missouri will be a win.
Um,
Texas A&M will be a loss. It will. It will. It will.
yeah,
In
so
College Station.
Florida, Missouri. Um,
I actually have them losing to Mississippi State too.
yeah. All right. So okay, I've got Texas A&M a loss. Um, yeah, you're right. They'll trip up at some point at home. Um,
Here's where I think they're going to trip up. At Arkansas, versus Florida, and versus Tennessee. I can see them losing all those three in a row.
yeah. So I guess I'll go. Yeah, Texas A&M. I think I'm gonna go Texas A&M, Georgia at
Hmm.
home, South Carolina on the road. That Arkansas game's tough.
Versus
Um,
Arkansas?
at Arkansas. Um, yeah, I got them losing Tennessee at home.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I have their final record somewhere 21-10. Sounds about right.
yeah, three. What? So, what do you got? Gonzaga at home.
I gotta win. I gotta win Gonzaga.
Okay.
I
Um,
don't think they're gonna figure out Mississippi State, and I don't think that they're going to figure out Arkansas this year. Those are
yeah,
the
yeah.
two they play twice.
I do think they get hyped for Gonzaga at home, and they pull out a win there.
Yeah.
Um, I think younger teams get surprised a little bit at home sometimes.
Yeah. I could see them from anywhere from going at least 18-13 to 21-10. That's
Uh,
where I can see it.
I always look for the trap games. I like the trap games. I could see at LSU because they go to LSU and then they have Alabama at home. I could see them
Yeah.
looking forward to Alabama and losing at LSU.
Yeah, or coming off if they beat A&M and Mississippi State, then they're at Georgia and at South Carolina. Those are two trap games in a row.
Yeah, I'm around you. I see. Um, yeah, I see about 8 losses. They were. Where's their schedule at here? They were 22-12 last year.
Okay.
Um, but 12-6 in conference, and I think I see them. I see them about that in conference again.
Yeah.
Um, and then you add in the Kansas game and stuff. Yeah, so I guess I'm about you, about 10 losses.
Yeah, 10. I have 10 to 13
Yeah,
losses for
because they
them.
struggled early on last year, and I don't
Yeah.
think they'll struggle as much. So looking at Alabama real quick,
Hmm.
I like Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't. I guess I don't see Alabama being 31-6 and
Oh, no.
16-2 again.
Definitely not.
Let me look up
Definitely.
Alabama's schedule. I don't. Um, I do. Going back to my coaching thing again.
Yeah.
So I mistyped Alabama's schedule. So for our football fans out there, Alabama's losing 10-3 right now. Um, but I I don't like Nate Oates. But
Yes,
I
we know. We
do
know.
think that Nate Oates can coach. And I do like the teams he puts together. Alabama, off of a quick look right here, I
Uh-huh.
do like Alabama's schedule early on. It says versus Purdue. I don't know if that means it's at home or just a neutral site. My guess it's probably a neutral site.
Well, here's what I like. Alabama, they went and got Grant Nelson. Mark Sears is back. They have Aaron Estrada. They brought back Nick Pringle. So they've got some dudes. I have their first game as Morehead State. It says
Yeah.
so. First three games, obviously 3-0. Mercer's a win. Ohio State, they're supposed to be better. Um, we'll give them a win, I guess. And then Oregon and Santa Clara, 6-0. I don't know. They could be 8-0 by the time they play Purdue. And look at this. Look at this. Purdue, Creighton at Arizona. They could drop three in a row.
Whew, yeah. But
That's a
that's
tough
a
stretch.
that's a barn burner. Yeah, you know what? I do have them losing those three games.
8-3, and then Eastern Kentucky and Liberty.
Because they're gonna get cut up by my boy Caleb Love at Arizona.
That's a really tough stretch. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah,
have nobody really to contend with Zach Edey.
that's a great. I love relaxing watching some college basketball around Christmas time.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
Alabama, Arizona
Oh
on
yeah,
December 20th. That's a great game to watch.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, so they got those three there,
And
and
then two
then
easy wins.
I say they probably pull out. Vandy has a really cool court, and so a lot of times I don't know. I like watching Vandy games to see their court, and to me, it just something about it kind of gives you a little bit of a home court advantage. But I
Hmm.
don't I think I think they'll be strong enough. Alabama, they'll win the Vandy game.
Okay.
Um, so I guess I probably have them now all the way down to the Tennessee game, and uh, I uh, I kind of want to say they win at Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of say they get a little run going. They hit that early bump, and then I kind of have them on a win streak for a while.
So I think I have them about 19-14. That's where
Oh, you're tough.
I know I'm tough.
You're tough. I want to say I've got them. It's 4, 5.
Every team is either going to drop one to South Carolina or Georgia, except your upper echelon teams. One of them.
I've got them at 7 losses, maybe.
Really? So you're a
Yeah.
30-7. That's a 30-7 team to you?
I you know,
Wow.
I like a Nate Oates regular season team. Like I nothing in the past couple years has told me that Alabama is going to lose more than 10 games.
Okay.
Um, it's funny. I have them winning at Tennessee, but losing to Tennessee at home. But, um, I
You're more generous than I am.
Yeah, I don't think this Alabama team loses any more than 10 games. I have them at
Okay.
I if it was over under, I would say um and you gave me 9. I mean, I'd probably say push if I was like betting on it, but if just for
Okay.
ha-has,
Okay.
I'd probably say if I couldn't say push, I'd say under.
Okay.
I would say they're more likely to lose 8 games than 10 games.
Okay. Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
all right, so real quick then, uh, predictions on
March Madness teams.
yeah, and real quick on top 2 teams, top 3 teams in the league, and worst team in the league.
Okay. Wow. All right. So my top three are going to be Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. And my dang, that's a toss up for the worst team. My
I think I
worst
might go
team.
Georgia for
My
worst.
worst team in the league. I'm going LSU.
Yeah, actually, I'll stick with LSU. You're right. I'll stick with LSU for worst. Um,
My yeah, LS. Sorry, I don't know.
I guess. Oh man, you're right. Maybe now I'm looking at it. I'm like, I gotta pick Alabama as my top team, right? Because they were the team I had with like the best record.
I like Georgia. I like what Mike White's doing there. They had a way better year. LSU, I don't see them getting out of the basement.
I guess I gotta go based off the numbers I gave. I guess I have to say Alabama,
Wow.
A&M,
Okay.
Kentucky.
You're not even putting Tennessee in your top three?
I mean, they're right there, but
Wow, that's
but I predicted
crazy.
Alabama to only have like 3
Sep-
losses in the league. So
All right, here is my. I think it's going to be an 8 to 9 March Madness league again. So I guess I'll just give you my teams. Um, so these are in no particular order. My
hmm
first team will be Tennessee. My second team will be Texas A&M. Third team is Arkansas. My fourth team is Kentucky. My fifth team is Auburn. My sixth team is Mississippi State. My seventh team is Alabama. My eighth team, this is where it gets tricky. This gets tricky because I'm at a toss up between 3 teams right now. But you know what? I'm going to do it. Chris Beard, don't let me down. My eighth team, I'm going to put Ole Miss sneaking into the first 4. Florida and Vandy were just left out. If I had to pick a sleeper in this league, it would be uh, either Ole Miss or Georgia. Those would be the 2 sleepers.
yeah,
Or
I mean,
Florida.
I'm pretty much there with you,
Yeah.
but I don't. Um, I guess I would put. I mean, I do like Ole Miss.
Hmm.
I think I would if I had to like switch things around. I'd probably put Vandy in over Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to change anything,
Yep.
I'm probably the rest. I'm pretty locked in on.
Yeah.
Um,
Florida. It was either going to be Ole Miss or Florida because Florida got Walter Clayton and EJ Jarvis. Um, but again, Ole Miss has the better coach, in my opinion. Like you said, they got Cameron Brakefield, they got Brandon Murray, they got Jamarian Sharp, they got Jalen Murray, they got Alan Flanagan, Matthew Morrell, Musa Cisse. It depends. If he can get his waiver, this team might be better than the first 4 team.
all right, trivia time.
Oh boy, close it out. All right.
When is the last time
Oh boy.
Ole Miss
Ooh.
made the NCAA tournament?
Oh, easy. Are you kidding me? Come on. That was my freshman year of high school. So, hang on. Let me do a little numbers crunching here. Last year's NCAA tournament was 2023. 2022 was my senior year. 2021 was my junior year. 2019 NCAA tournament. They lost to Oklahoma in the first round as I think it was a 9 seed.
Oh, so close, so close.
An
They were the
8
eight
seed.
seed. Yeah,
8
they were
seed.
the eight seed. Yeah.
One of them. Kermit Davis was their head coach.
Is that like? That wouldn't be Trey Young, would it? Was Trey Young on that team?
No, that was. I want to. I don't know who was on the team, but I got the question right. The seed was extra credit, so let's get that.
Okay, okay. What's the highest?
Okay.
What's the farthest they've made it?
Ole Miss. NCAA tournament. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they obviously got past the first
what
round.
round were they? I would tell you they've never won a championship. So what round were they defeated in to make it the farthest?
Man, if my streak ends here, this could be so disappointing. I actually have a question for you because let's see. I'm gonna say Sweet 16.
You're correct.
Let's go. All right, here's my question for you. Kermit Davis engineered an upset over which team? No. No. Do not look it up.
No, I'm just.
Do you want to know the tournament?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, do you want me to tell you the team that they upset?
No, give me. Well, what
Are
do you
you
want
sure?
me? No, give me the year.
Oh, jeez. Holy moly. I'm going to have to look that up. That was...
So, give me the seed that they were.
Oh, 15.
Okay. He didn't coach one of the teams that beat Duke, did he?
No.
Okay.
It was the 2016 NCAA tournament, many moons ago.
2016 NCAA tournament, 15 seed. It took down Arizona.
Nope. Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans, Middle Tennessee. You remember that? The infamous
remember that.
picture of
Remember that.
Reggie Upshaw sticking
I'm
his
pretty
tongue
sure
out.
that I
as he
had
drummed.
that picked my bracket.
Really? I certainly didn't.
All right, I'm an offer.
My Sweet 16 was a guess. That was like that was way out there.
They've got a bad tournament record. So I mean, I guess not terrible, but they've been in the tournament 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and they've only gotten out of the first round 3 out of those 9 times.
Wow. Yeah, that's not very good.
And they've never really gotten a sort of. Actually, they were upset. No, wait, was that the? Wait, I gotta look up this one.
You're Ole Miss. You can be an Ole Miss fan now. Look at that.
Oh, it was that. What team does Bryce Drew coach?
Bryce Drew?
Yeah, is he still coach?
Last I knew, he coached Vanderbilt.
Who's his brother? What's
Scott
his
Drew. Scott Drew.
Oh yes.
Sorry, Bryce Drew coaches Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon. Okay. Do you know Bryce? Like, did you ever see the Bryce Drew shot for Valparaiso?
Yes.
So that was the Ole Miss game. So they're playing Ole Miss in that. That's my favorite because they throw the long pass in the air. He taps it over. Bryce Drew hits the running through. Valpo wins. That's one of my favorite NCAA moments.
Every head coach has that Valpo play in their book. My high school head coach had it. We would literally run it every practice, and it would be named Valpo. Every high school coach has that playbook now because of Valparaiso.
There's some good-looking guys this year walking around Pope Francis.
Yeah, got some height.
Yeah.
I coached their summer league team. Yeah, he did pretty well.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how the season goes.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that's EC.
Yeah. Next week is what? Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm doing research for the Big Ten.
Yeah, okay. You
What?
said that
I'm
last.
I'm coming with stats for the
You
Big
s-
Ten.
Okay, you said that last. Okay, all right.
All right.
I'll take you on the stats. Okay,
Guarantee I'm coming with stuff for the Big Ten.
okay, all right. But not for the SEC. Why are you disrespecting us like that?
It was too easy to talk about.
Oh, okay, all right. Because you know what? In the most recent brackets, A&M, if they made it to the Sweet 16, would be matched up against Duke.
According to uh, BartTorvik.com, who I'm
Okay,
now going to
what?
start using for things,
What?
uh, Texas A&M, he has them ranked as the 10th best team going into 2024. He has,
24?
or like the 2024 tournament.
Oh,
He has Duke ranked as the fifth best team.
yeah. Well, it's too high. Or too
Um,
low.
what is that? It doesn't matter who Duke plays; they're going to win the tournament.
Yeah, okay. I want that Texas A&M Duke matchup. Then I can, rub it in your face that we beat you guys. Because you know what? Wait. Last I checked, the SEC has a leg up on Duke. Am I wrong?
Just wait for the season.
Okay. Who do you guys have in the SEC ACC challenge?
Arkansas.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll
That's a
see.
win.
Oh, okay, we'll see. At Arkansas or at Duke?
At I want to say at Arkansas because Arizona's coming to Duke, so I think we're going to Arkansas.
That's gonna be tough. In Fayetteville, that's gonna be tough.
All right, let me at least close this part out before my computer dies. All right, so until next time, let me make sure I stop this properly this time. All right, here we go. Big Ten next time. Thank you, everybody.